There are moments when I feel like I share your trait of having people instinctively assume that I'm cruel or that I'm a particular kind of person. In fact, I'm among the kindest individuals. Do you understand what I mean? She never did this when she came to me because either Remy isn't genuinely sorry or she is. Let's go right to the point, everyone. Papoose is tired with Remy Ma's antics. Rumor has it that he confronted her and demanded that she sign the divorce papers right away. Sis, though, isn't giving up. Why? Because Pat could simply hit her pocket for that alimony check if she does. Furthermore, let's not pretend that Pat doesn't have a strong argument for it. He supported her for more than 10 years while she was imprisoned, reared her kid, and advanced her profession. And now he wants to put off the divorce after she cheated and moved on. We must become involved in this mess. I see. Being noisy on the internet is not Papoose's style. However, she has been requesting this divorce behind the scenes for a while. The man has practically pleaded with Remy to release him, but each time he does, his sister always finds a reason to keep him behind bars. And he's had enough now. He suddenly appeared and demanded explanations, asking questions like, "What's the holdup, Remy? You publicly humiliated me and went off with an easy 2-block captain, but now you're attempting to keep me in compliance with the law, bound to you." However, Ray's enthusiasm abruptly changed when he brought up alimony. Sis was shaken because, let's face it, she knows that after all those years of devotion, Pat could just come for the bag if she gets a divorce. We all witnessed Remy acting like a high school sweetheart as she paraded around with easy-to-block captain chasing. Even though she was still legally married to Pat, she had the audacity to rap about him in a fight, thus admitting that she was in love with someone else. It was loud and disrespectful. Just once, believe me, because you all desire to serve on the front lines. Hey Remy, are you not in love with me? You see, the punchline is right there. Here's the thing though, easy has already gone on. Yes, Mr. Block. Remy was left behind for 2 younger ladies by the captain. Additionally, she wants to start behaving like she has unresolved business with Pep. She didn't mind treating this man disrespectfully, but now that her own life is unraveling, she wants to keep him from being happy. Make sense of it, everyone. Pep has already acquired a genuine one. Clarissa Shields is an unbeaten boxing champion and self-made millionaire. She is also more than simply an Instagram star. Sis is the best tiger when it comes to winning. Yes, I adore him. I adore having his backing. Prepared to advance the situation, and Pap was prepared to adorn it with a ring. Do you understand what I mean? His assistance is really very different from what I've received in the past. Additionally, the way he speaks to me and other things are completely different. There you have it, each is something we deserve. Clarissa has been singing to Pap, wishing him a happy birthday, and is eager to advance the relationship. And Pap was prepared to adorn it with a ring. Had arranged a Valentine's Day trip to Hawaii, was about to pop the question, and then Remy destroyed everything by refusing to sign the paperwork. Now that she is being dictated to by another lady, Claria is furious. Connection. Remy wants to play stay away because her brief relationship with Easy didn't work out, but Pap is prepared to move on. This is when things become very nasty. Rumor has it that Remy isn't stalling because he loves you? She's taking her time because of the money. You see, Pep was more than simply her spouse. He served as her PR team, manager, and staunchest ally, all at once. Pep preserved Remy's reputation. During her 6-year incarceration, while she was behind bars, he had her mixtapes popping, nurtured her son, and marketed her music. Rooney is now valued around ounce a clothing brand and makes around $4 million. Album royalties are checked by TV. She had a lovely purse on her seat. Pap, meanwhile, has a substantially lower net worth. Let's face it, he gave up his profession to support hers. Naturally, when it comes to long-term partnerships and money, don't play around. Sacrifices they make in consideration of their length of marriage. 11 years. Yes, that is plenty lengthy. Disparities in income. Rimway produces far more to back to whom. Pap was her pillar of support. Therefore, Pap may receive that check if he brings this to court. We are only discussing half of it. Since she isn't attempting to sign those documents, Remy is aware of this. Remy began to move. Petty, she disclosed the private messages between Clarissa and Pap. She had claimed that Pap had threatened to report her to the police. She even made fun of Clarissa's appearance. Grow up, girl. Clarissa has finished being polite at this point. If Remy keeps playing, sis, a full-time professional boxer, could just run into these hands, both inside and outside the ring. Hold on now. For a moment, let's turn this entire situation around. What happens if Pap doesn't truly move on? What if this entire is the goal of the circumstance to get revenge on Remy for making him look foolish, rather than to fall in love with Clarissa? Here's the thing, you see. Pap had no wish to part with Remy. For more than 10 years, this man had a strong affection for her. He waited for her while incarcerated. He stayed true to her despite the early allegations of infidelity. Pat finally stopped when Remy grew too brash about publicly hugging with the captain, who was simple to block. Let's face it, he created their marriage as a complete fairy tale, restored her career, and reared her child. Since Pap seems to be the type of guy that likes his ladies to be tough but feminine, and since, let's face it, Clarissa has a tomboy spirit, that equilibrium was Remy's. However, it was not his intention, and he was expelled. He is currently seeing Clarissa Shields, who is completely devoted to him. Is he truly all for her? Though, Clarissa is currently making a great effort to seem really feminine around him. Does it even fit his preferences? Though, furthermore, the manner in which he acts around her. While Pat is only present, but has the same zeal as her, Clarissa is out there pinning lines that serenade him and display him like a prize. The two of us alone. We are able to make it. Let's be honest, Pep has never been a messy man. Therefore, it annoys Remy, which is why I'm here. He has never spoken out about black loyalty or love. But now that he's in a new relationship, he's making public jokes about Remy that don't sound like a man in love, to make sure others notice. When men are genuinely in love, they don't move on so fast. Perhaps they may reunite or host a new person. However, to completely move on that fast, no. What will happen when Claria realizes this is the question now? Because she is giving it her best. However, what if Pap is only using her to infuriate Remy? What if he awakens one day and finds that he still desires his wife's return? The heartache is intense. Clarissa could have to face a harsh awakening. And because this was mentioned in the first remark I saw, I'm not the only fan that feels this way, because she seems to be going all out for him, and he constantly seems to be in the background, seeming as though he's not on what she is. I believe that Papoose will break Claria's heart. She is attempting to be very feminine for him, which makes her uncomfortable and tomboyish. Since he wasn't attempting to leave Rainey prior to her cheating, I believe he is only taking pleasure in getting even with her. However, because he's on some getaway, I don't think he's truly moved on. Return. Because he's experiencing anything. Be concerned. I want to see Clarissa happy, but I'm not sure if Pap and Remy will divorce. Young and impressionable, Clarissa is unsure about what she's getting herself into. Pap cheated in the song, according to Remy, but no one noticed. Since Pap is all about his bag, and would never fall in love with anybody like Remy, I hope she doesn't feel wounded when he talks to her and other girls. I apologize, but please let me know who you are rooting for. Clarissa for being a genuine one and putting up with all of this insanity, or Remy for being broke and hewn for being tied to a man she no longer even wants. Share your opinions in the comments section.